Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I know you guys have been waiting for my recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This past Sunday was off the damn chain, y'all, so let's go ahead and get started. So in the opening scene, we have Dwayne. Now, we ain't seen Dwayne in a long time. He's meeting up with Phaedra because they're planning on this event for Mr. President. They're planning on throwing an inauguration for Mr. President. I mean, this whole situation is insane. It's for a 6-month-old baby, but Phaedra decides that she's not going to spare any expense. It's for her son, and they have it like that. It must be nice when that you have extra money coming in from stealing other people's IDs and cashing in on their life savings. But moving on to the next damn scene. So in the next scene, we have Cynthia and Peter, and they're at the Bailey agency talking to each other about the whole little wine retreat that happened. And Cynthia starts spilling the tea about how Candy threw some digs at her, saying that, she knew about Peter's past, but she's not going to say anything about his past. And Peter, is looking visibly upset, like, what is she trying to say? Is she trying to say that I'm cheating on you, or that I'm fucking with other people? And Cynthia's like, no, I don't think she was trying to say that, but she's just saying that you have a past, and I know you have a past because everybody has a past. See, as much as I love Cynthia Bailey, as pretty as she is, I've noticed that Cynthia likes to throw rocks and then hide her hands. She likes to start little shit and then play crazy like, well, no, I don't mean it like that. Stop, Cynthia. That whole situation that happened at the little winery, she shouldn't even brought that up. Now, I find it funny that she didn't bring up the fact that she was the one who was being messy on the bus and telling all the damn secrets and telling everybody about Natalie's situation, but then, yet and still, the only part that she speaks on is what Candy says. Because she was running her mouth about Natalie and Chris's relationship, and then Kenya put her on blast. In return, Candy had something to say about it. And this is why Peter needs to get the whole story instead of just listening to his wife, because she seems to start a lot of shit on the slide. Moving on to the next scene. On the next one, we have Kenya, and she's meeting up with her Aunt Lori. Deciding to go to the clinic because Kenya wants to get checked out and make sure everything is okay because she's over the age of 40 and she really wants to have a child. And her Aunt Lori is talking to her like, are you sure this is what you want to do? We have enough issues in our family. And Kenya's like, I understand we have enough issues in our family, but I want a child because I can take my child away and just be, just be alone with my child, and I don't have to be bothered with the rest of the family. So her auntie asks her, what does she want? Does she want a boy or a girl? And Kenya says that she wants a boy. She cannot deal with having a little girl. Little girls are just too much. She wants a boy specifically. So then they go in there to go meet up with the doctor, and the doctor's telling that everything looks good except the fact that something is low with her numbers as far as like her ovaries producing an egg, because as you get older your ovaries don't produce as many eggs. So Kenya's visibly upset. She starts crying and she's saying, well, I don't understand, how's Halle Berry able to have all these kids and she's almost 50 years old? And the doctor tells her she might have used in vitro fertilization where you can use one of your own eggs, but then they put everything together in a test tube. So Kenya's like, okay, well, fine. I need to go to a fertility clinic. I'm just going to go find me a sperm donor. We have to get this done. So the doctor tells her to go to the fertility clinic and see what they can do for her. So in the next thing, we have Todd and Candy. And Candy's talking to Todd and basically telling Todd that, I know that you've known Natalie for a long time. You said a lot of things about Natalie. You said a lot of good things about her. But unfortunately for you, Natalie didn't really have a lot of good things to say about you. So Todd is like, what are you saying? And Candy says, well, when we was at the little winery, Natalie said that you're an opportunist and that you're always using women to come up. And Todd is like, what woman have I used to come up? What woman was I with before you that I came up on? And Candy's like, I don't know, because she couldn't really name nobody. And Candy's like, you know what? Don't worry about it, baby. I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of people always having something to say about our relationship. And Todd is looking like, okay, well, fine. If you're tired of it, why did you even bring it up? But at the end, they start laughing and smiling. They're just getting over it. And Candy's basically saying that if anybody else has something else to say about her relationship, they need to take several seats because she plans on being with Todd for the rest of her life, and she doesn't care what anybody has to say about the situation. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have Kenya and Miss Lawrence. So they're going to the fertility clinic to go check out some sperm. And so as they get into the clinic, they're talking to the receptionist. And Miss Lawrence has the nerve to ask for some extra lube. If Miss Lawrence don't sit his freaky ass down somewhere talking about he needs some extra lube. I felt the hell out when he said that. So they're sitting there talking, and as they're talking, this cute guy walks into the scene, and he's telling Kenya that, he's donating sperm. And Kenya's like, dang, you're cute. How tall are you? And he's like, I'm 6'2", and, I do this because I'm the last male, and I want, my genes out there and all this other stuff. So they're all questioning him and everything. So then the doctor walks in. They have Kenya do a checklist of, what she's interested in. So they're talking to her, and Just to get a sample of sperm is like $400 or $500. So they're just sitting there talking. So they're asking Ken, what are you interested in? What do you want? They want her to read like the donor information. And the first donor card that she read, the dude couldn't spell. He was misspelling words. And she's like, I don't want nobody who's dumb. I don't want nobody who don't know their grammar. That is not who I want for a baby's father. So then they ask her, what do you want in physical, characteristics? Then she goes on with this long ass checklist. She said that he has to be pretty. He has to have fine features. He needs to have, a thin, pointy nose. So, no bell pepper noses for Kenya. She also demands that the man has green eyes because she wants to keep the green eye gene in her child. Which I'm kind of confused because some people say that these are Kenya's real eyes. Other people say that they're contacts. I don't know. I had always assumed they were her real eyes, but since being on the show, I noticed her eye colors change a lot and her pupils look funny. So I don't know if she's wearing contacts or not, but I do know that she's determined to have a baby with green eyes and small, pretty features. It just goes to show you how sick people are. Instead of this arrogant ass bitch asking for a healthy child and hoping that, everything goes good with the pregnancy and that, she is able to get pregnant with her own egg, she's asking for all these physical characteristics, but not realizing that being that she's over the age of 40, she's at a high risk for having a child with Down syndrome. So to me, she should just be happy that her child is healthy and not worry about so much if her child has a pointy nose, green eyes, good hair, light skin, and all the other bullshit that black folks are always concerned with. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have Phaedra and her family. This bitch is so over the damn top. So now we're all at the inauguration for Mr. President, the 6-month-old baby. I don't even know what the hell this baby name is. So we just gonna keep calling him Mr. President because that's how she refers to her son. So they're there, and it's a lot of folks there. We finally get a chance to see Apollo's white mom. We've never seen her before, but she's there. Phaedra's father's there. The mother's there. The whole family's there. And then this man makes a grand announcement. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome Atlanta's first royal family. And I'm sitting there like, who the hell dubbed Apollo Nita, Phaedra Nita, and her 2 little kids the royal family of Atlanta? How the hell did you just self-proclaim yourself to be the royal family of Atlanta? I'm gonna need the folks of Atlanta to get their life and kick her and her husband out the damn throne of Atlanta. This shit makes no sense. They spent all this money for a party for a 6-month-old. It wasn't his christening. It was just a random party. And it's like, who the hell is paying for all of this? It is not that damn serious. And the whole time you can tell there's conflict and there's tension between her and Apollo. They're steadily getting into it. She's walking out with the baby. She's walking out with Aiden. And they're coming down the steps. And Apollo's like, damn, why are you still squeezing my hand? Let my hand go. And I'm like, dang, he got a real nasty attitude towards her. So then they're in the corner talking, and he's ready to go walk off and go mingle. And she's like, no, you need to stay here because we're about to do our dance number. And Apollo's like, I'm not dancing. So then she has to dance with Dwight. And I know I've been calling him Dwayne, but I mean Dwight. So she has to dance with Dwight. And everybody's like, Apollo, why aren't you dancing with Phaedra? He's like, I don't dance. That's not my thing. I don't dance. So her and Dwight, they're getting their dance on. And, he's rocking it. He's killing it. And I'm just sitting here like, damn, this makes no damn sense. Like, Apollo's just really shading her. So then after the dance, they go get changed again. So then they're coming back down the steps and he still has an attitude. So now the next scene, they're outside. And Phaedra's like, can somebody get my husband? My mother's ready to make an announcement. Where's Apollo? And he just starts going off. You can hear him in his microphone like, damn, why, what the hell does she want? She's always, saying something to me. And she's like, come on, you got to come over here. And he's like, damn, I can't eat, I can't drink. And she's like, no, we need to be over here. So he has a straight up attitude with her, and then he tells her, you better stop throwing them ugly eyes at me. She's like, I'm not throwing no ugly eyes at you. And he's like, yes, you are. So it's like, you can just tell there's just so much tension in this marriage. Like, to me, everything just seems really fake and really staged. You can tell he's not happy. He does not want to be with her. This whole situation is just a damn shame. So now, if that's not bad enough, Phaedra's mama, Miss Regina Bell, decides to lead everybody in a prayer. And then then after that, she covers Mr. President in the blood of Jesus. And she wraps him up in a royal purple blanket. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm sitting here like, what kind of Illuminati celebration is this? Like, what the hell? They're wrapping him up in a purple royal blanket. And it's all this, secret society shit. I'm like, only in the ATL would you see some mess like this. This whole scene was a mess. It was funny, but it was a mess. So then after she gets done with her whole, speech on, how wonderful her grandson is and how he's royalty and how he's covered in the blood of Jesus, then after that, Phaedra gets up and she tells everybody, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for supporting me and my family. I really appreciate it. And then she asks her husband, do you have anything to say to the guests? And Apollo's like, nah, I ain't got nothing to say. You said it all. And, you know, and then it just becomes real kind of tense and everybody's kind of looking like, damn, you couldn't even tell the guest thank you. And Phaedra's like, well, you know, Apollo's tongue-tied right now. You know, he doesn't really have nothing to say, you know, for the first time in life. And she tries to laugh it off. But that whole thing, that whole situation was just really, really awkward. Like I said, I just don't think that they need to be together. They haven't been happy for a long time. And this definitely showed that. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, we have NeNe, and she's setting up for the pillow talk night that she has invited all the couples to, and it's at the ATL International Continental Hotel. So the first person to arrive is Cynthia, and she comes in this blue little satin negligee. So she comes in, and the second ones to come in are Portia and her sister Lauren, because as we know, these two ditzy birds, as pretty as they are, as nice as their bodies are, neither one of them have a man, so they just came together as their own little couple. So they come in and they're all being extra ditzy, and Portia goes running and jumping on the furniture like a 4-year-old. I mean, I just can't with this woman. Moving on. So as people are coming in, NeNe is just throwing all this shade in her confessional. She's saying that she hates fake people. She hates folks who are late. And she's just throwing all this shade. And everybody's like, you know, what is wrong with NeNe? Why is she acting so extra in her confessionals? You know, I hate when she's always talking about folks being fake, when she's the fakest one of them all. Oh, bootleg, blonde, bombshell looking ass bitch. I get so tired of NeNe and her attitude. She always got something to say, and she's always throwing some type of shade and starting a bunch of fucking mess. So after the two ditzy birds come in, then Marlo and Lexi come in. We also see Angry Face Mal. She's in there somewhere, mugging everybody, being angry as usual. So she was invited as well. Why these three are there and they have no man with them, I don't understand. But I'm assuming they're there just for the shits and giggles. After that, Peter walks into the scene and he has a heart on. And everybody's looking at his dick like, really, Peter? And Cynthia rushes to go cover him up. Ain't nobody trying to see all that, Uncle Ben's. Put that thing away. He was doing too much in that little scene. Okay. And after that, Monique and Chuck walk in, and then Natalie and Chris finally walk in, and then the party gets started for real. Moving on to the next scene. So in the next scene, NeNe comes in from the room. She went to the room to go change, and she goes walking out from everybody in this skimpy outfit. Greg looks like he's about to have a heart attack. He's so shocked at what NeNe has on. I mean, poor Greg. He doesn't even have a storyline anymore. He doesn't even talk anymore. So he's just sitting in the corner looking like an old-ass sack of laundry. And NeNe's just walking around, you know, flossing and floating around and being fabulous. She's just being really, really drag queenish. And Candy and everybody's looking at her like, what the hell is going on with NeNe? Why is she being so extra? Then she introduces the models, and one's a guy and one's a girl. And the girl model, she was pretty. She had a beautiful face, but her ass looked at a damn mess. She had a bunch of cellulite and dimples, and Bravo had the nerve to zoom in on her ass, and folks drug her ass literally all up and down Twitter. So then after that, NeNe is still hopping around and acting all crazy, and she tells folks that we're here to play a game. And I'm like, a game? What the hell is this, Saw 7? So she's telling them that they're going to play a game, and folks are like, well, what game is it? And she says that the game is called How Well Do You Know Your Mate? I'm not buying that shit, NeNe. NeNe knows what she's doing with this damn game. So then she starts going in on Kenya and how Kenya's late and how Kenya's disrespectful, and she's really upset, but she wants to just hurry up and get to the game right away. So Portia gets up and she reads the first question, and I, like many other people, were shocked that this ditzy bird could read. So Portia reads the question, and then the next question, Cynthia reads it, and that question goes, you be comfortable being around your mate if they're around somebody they had sex with already? And then Portia, like a 4-year-old, she screams, oh, hell no. I could never be around somebody that my mate has been with sexually. And everybody's looking like, really, Portia? Now, you know damn well Chuck is in here, and everybody and their mama done fuck Chuck. Like, Portia's just so damn extra for no damn reason. Then after that, somebody reads a question, and the question is, would you be okay with your lover being bisexual? And then he says, Portia, you might as well go ahead and answer that one. And Portia's like, no, bitch, don't put me on blast. You know what I'm saying? That's my business. And no, I would not be comfortable with my man being bisexual. My man needs to love Portia and nobody else. So I'm sitting here like, really, NeNe? That's the question that you asked, and you try and force Portia to answer the question? And then Phaedra in the confessional says, like, you know what? Where are these questions coming from? I feel like NeNe's just straight up trying to stir the pot. And I definitely agree with Phaedra on that. These questions were mirrored towards these couples to make everybody really, really uncomfortable. NeNe was not trying to help anything. She was trying to just stir up a bunch of drama. Then after that, they all start talking about the strip club. So Peter's like, you know, I go to the strip club. I don't give a damn. I have my fun, but I'm not paying for no lap dances. And Candy's looking at Peter like, damn, bitch, you alive? You know what I mean? I done seen you at the strip club with strippers all up on your lap and everything else. So then Peter starts getting mad like, what you saying, Candy? You trying to put me on blast? What you trying to say? And Candy's like, just keep it real. You know, I've been at the strip club, and you've been at the strip club, and I've seen you getting lap dances. Peter's feeling some type of way. Cynthia's salty and upset because she really thought that Peter was going to the strip club and just watching strippers like this, but not touching and not tricking off no money and not getting lap dances. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Anybody who goes to a strip club is gonna get it in. You spending money, you getting lap dances, you having a good old funky time. Oh, damn well Peter's ass is having a good old funky time when he goes to the damn strip club. Come on now. After everything's said and done, Apollo's quiet ass decides to speak up. And he starts talking about how he's addicted to the strip club and how he really started going to the strip club after he got out of prison. And so he's like, I go all the time. It's a way for me to get a release. It's a way for me to meet up with my friends and have fun. And then Phaedra's like, I didn't mind him going to the strip clubs, but it's what he spends. Then this fool has him to say that when he comes home, he shows Phaedra the bill, and the bill has been anywhere from between $5,000 to $8,000 in one night at the strip club. Then everybody starts flipping out on Apollo like, what? How the hell you spending 5 to 8 stacks at the strip club and you got kids at home, you got a wife at home, money don't grow on trees. What the hell is really going on? And I'm sitting here like, this is a shame. And he's talking about, it's my money. I do what I want to do with my money. Y'all like buying shoes and purses. I like going to the strip club and buying drinks and tricking off. But see, that's how you know that this man still has the mentality of a criminal. Everyone that I've ever known who spends money like that has always had a criminal mentality. A lot of dope boys I know spend money like that. A lot of damn strippers spend money like that. Because when you're getting fast money, as fast as it's coming in, is as fast as you spending it. When you're working hard for your money and you having to, put in 8 to 14-hour shifts and sleep and everything else, and you stressed out, you can't afford to just go trick off $1,000, $2,000. It's people who make fast money who do a lot of criminal activity who can trick off like that. So what Apollo did in that short little sentence that he said that, it's his money, he can do what he want to do with it, it goes to show you that Apollo's used to fast money and spending money just as quickly as he gets it. And to me, Apollo, it is not your money. It's those people's money that you've been stealing their identity from. And I feel like that's why this man was doing all the dirt that he's been accused of doing. He's doing that dirt because he's used to fast money. He's used to a certain lifestyle. The Real Housewives of Atlanta is a hustle for Phaedra, but it's not a hustle for Apollo. From what they're saying, most of the guys don't even get paid on that show, so he still has to have his own hustle. And being that nobody knows what this man does for a living, it makes perfect sense with the money that he's spending at the strip club, the money that he's spending on cars, and everything else that he's been accused of doing online. It makes perfect sense that he'd be involved in criminal activity because he's not making money like that from a legit job. Because anybody working a legit job is not going to have $5,000 to blow in one night. I mean, that to me is insane. Anyone would try and justify spending that much money in one night when you got folks out here who don't have a dime to their name. Apollo's crazy for that one. So then after that, Christopher says that he's from the Bronx. He grew up poor and that he could never see himself justifying, spending that much money in one night. So then Natalie chimes in and says, well, I co-wrote a song with Chris and it's called I'm Your Dancer. And basically, it's a song where Chris doesn't have to go out there and go to the strip club because I'm his dancer. I dance for him. I am his stripper. And everybody's looking at this greasy bitch like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you and greasy ass Chris do behind closed doors. And then Kenya in her confessional is like, you know what? Okay, she's talking all this shit about, dancing for Chris. Does she tuck when she dances? Because you look like a man. I'm sitting there like, damn, Kenya's a fool. Kenya's ass has no damn filter whatsoever. So in between all that mess, Kenya and Brandon had walked in. Kenya claimed that she was late, picking Brandon up from the airport. NeNe has an attitude with her, and I think because Kenya's late, that's why NeNe's deciding to fuck with her. So like the miserable green giant that NeNe is, NeNe decides to put Kenya on blast. So she says, we need to have a discussion. We need to talk about everything that went down at the winery and why that you said that Natalie and Chris were not really married and that Natalie's his common law wife and not his wife. And so then Christopher gets up, and this man looks like he done popped about a few mollies. He done had a few cups of lean. It's like he can't even stand up straight. He's just, staggering. And he's like, Kenya, yeah, we need to talk about this. Yeah, what kind of drugs are you on? And Kenya's looking at him like, bitch, what kind of drugs is you on? It's obvious he done took some. His words is slurred and shit. He looked like if he was just to push him, he'd fall over. I'm like, really? So he gets up to go confront Kenya. And Kenya gets up and she's trying to talk to Natalie like, what, this is what was said. And then Chris goes to grab Kenya's arm and Kenya's like, get off of me. And Brandon, like the good friend he is, Brandon jumped right up and he got up in Chris's face like, don't you touch her. That's a female, you keep your hands to yourself. So then they start going back and forth and all of a sudden chaos just ensues. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So they're fighting and they're going back and forth and, you know, just they're throwing blows. Brandon is taking blows for Kenya, and that is a true friend. That is what I'm talking about should have happened to that girl Kim who got killed in California. God rest her soul. When you are with your friend and some shit pop off, if one fights, we all fight. If somebody's disrespecting my friend and they're trying to put their hands on my friend, you're supposed to jump in with your friend. Brandon took some straight up hits for Kenya because out of the blue, Peter goes to grab Brandon. He's trying to swing on Peter and get Peter off of him. Then for some reason, Apollo comes out of nowhere trying to grab Brandon. They're saying that Brandon accidentally hit Apollo. Apollo beat the shit out of Brandon like Brandon was trying to tear him a new booty hole in jail. I'm sitting there like, damn, Apollo, was it that damn serious? He beat the brakes out of Brandon. Apollo's ass can really fight. And I'm glad he can fight because now I can sleep well at night knowing that when the lights are off in Fulton County Jail, that Apollo's breaking some heads and not necessarily getting raped. Because I was kind of nervous because, you know, he's a pretty boy, so people are going to test him. But that damn pretty boy, he can throw some blows. Apollo was fighting his ass off. He was fighting like they was trying to take his virginity in jail. I was sitting here like, damn, Apollo, you must have had some serious flashbacks because you beat the fuck out of Brandon for no damn reason. So this whole situation was a mess. But I want somebody to explain this picture to me, okay? Explain this to me. Why when all the men was fighting, you had Kenya trying to break it up. You had Phaedra trying to break it up. You had Greg's old ass, who we all know is a sack of laundry. Even his old ass was trying to break it up. Where the hell was Chuck? Chuck was hiding behind Monique. I'm sitting here like, what kind of shit is this? Chuck is hiding behind Monique. Look at Chuck in the cut. Look at Chuck in the cut looking like a bootleg ass Frito Santana. Frito in the cut, that's a scary sight. Nah, Chuck in the cut, that's a scary sight. Chuck is a punk. Instead of being a man and trying to break these men up from fighting, he's hiding behind his wife. What kind of shit is that? Even Todd's little ass got up in there and was trying to break up the fight. Chuck over here hiding in the cut and shit, and he's supposed to be a football player. Boy, bye. I was disgusted when I seen that damn sight. Anyways, this shit was crazy. And then after that huge brawl, NeNe has the audacity to go pop off on Kenya and start cussing her out and blaming Kenya for everything, talking about Kenya shouldn't have stood up. So it's okay for Chris's greasy ass to stand up and confront her, but then it's not okay for Kenya to stand up. Kenya didn't go charging at Natalie. Kenya didn't swing on Natalie. She got up. Why can't she stand up? Bitch, you've been standing up, twirling and shaking your ass all night. So only you can stand up? Bitch, bye. Kenya should have cussed NeNe out. I'd have hurt NeNe's feelings that night because that whole situation was a mess and NeNe started all that shit. She did not need to bring up nothing that happened at the winery. If this was supposed to be a legitimate party for the couples to get to know each other and to become friends, NeNe went about it the wrong way. She knew what she was doing and she's trying to put the blame on Kenya, which to me is utter bullshit. So yeah, that was a crazy scene. It ended up with the to be continued, so we're going to have to wait till next week to see what happens. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, deuces.